What's going on, you guys? Welcome to not the Truth Be Told podcast. It is what it is podcast. Now, the reason for the name change was I got a nice.
You got sued.
We got sued, and before we start, who's this voice? You heard him before. He's gonna be a permanent co-host right here on the podcast. Jack the motherfucking Bus. Say hello, Jack the Bus.
Hello everybody. I had too much fun last time.
You know, it was a great podcast. We had a great time discussing all the drama and just in general the topics at hand. And Jack, what made you decide to say, you know what, I'm coming back and I'm staying?
I've just always been a little interested in podcasts, and I like your style of how you run things, so
thank you.
Thought I might jump on board.
I try to change it up. I try to take away the originality of what everybody else is doing. Like that, hey, what's going on, you guys? Like this is when it's night, it's dark outside. Like I try to take away that perspective. But
right.
Jack, there's so many people out there. Like we talked before, if you guys don't know, we talked, everything about, what Jack does, what's on his channel. We talked all about that. Listen in the description to the Jack the Bus podcast we did with him when he was a guest. Now he ain't a guest. We don't have any guests today because the guest we tried to talk to did not answer back. And also Near Die, another co-host that we don't have, his sister is in labor. So congratulations to you.
Aww.
I said, even if it's a girl, I said even if it is a girl, you better name it Matthew or Turbo, or I'm not gonna talk to you again. Because and he said it's a girl. I said okay, Turbita, like that's something she can be.
You gotta find some in between.
Yeah, you have to find that easy, that easy middle.
Exactly.
So we have a few questions here. So if you guys didn't see on Twitter, I wanted to start it out by Jack. He can explain it on his own, but I just wanted to get the questions from you guys, the people who watch the podcast. By the way, thank you so much for all the support in the past podcast. It really means a lot. We had, I think, overall, if I added up all the listens from on YouTube and on SoundCloud, I think the one we got from Jack the Bus, I think it was a total of 1,200 listens on that podcast. Wow. So it was really great to see how you guys really like that podcast. So thank you very much. Jack, are you ready to be on the hot seat? Because when
I'm ready.
There's one thing on this podcast, you're going to always be, even me, I'm not safe. No one's safe on this podcast. No one's going to be safe from the hot seat. So the first question is, do you put the milk first or the cereal first?
Oh, that's so easy. Okay, listen, we've been over this. I even have a video where I pour. Oh, my camera just fell.
Oh.
Hey, no, I got this under control. If you pour milk first, you are like that should be like, you should be put in prison. You should be put in prison if you pour the milk first.
Put in prison. Wow.
If you pour the milk first, you have something going on wrong. Turbo,
wow.
Do you put the milk in first?
No, I don't actually.
God.
To be honest with you, I can't even tell you the last time I drank cereal. The last time I ate cereal,
Really?
I stick with the, because I don't eat breakfast that much when I'm, at school and stuff like that. I want to get out of the house,
Right.
I can't get out of bed to begin with. So when you talk about like eating breakfast, I can't because I'm just I end up falling asleep or, I just gotta get out. So I stick with my granola bars and my Pop-Tarts and I'm walking.
Okay.
I'm just walking out.
I gotcha.
But when you see people talk about, and by the way, guys, the questions that you guys ask on Twitter, it's not very for Jack, it's just like, you could have thought anybody was it. So there's like normal people questions that you can ask.
No, I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about it.
Like,
very passionate.
Like and you know who does this that got me? And this is the first time I actually introduced his whole entire drama of milk first, cereal first. My father used to do that. Like he used to put the milk first, and then I used to look at him, and I'm like, Dad, listen, what?
We can't do this.
What
anymore.
happened? Like, what happened in this family that we're all dysfunctional now? Like,
Are you and Ma getting a divorce?
We can't
This
have this
family
now.
is falling apart.
We can't have this now. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here. Like, you're trying to lay something on me, but we can't have this. But, yeah, so he puts... What do you put in the cereal first? What do you do? Cereal?
Cereal first.
Cereal first. Good, good. No, good. I'm just asking.
Cereal first. There's no other way to do it.
Cereal first.
No other way.
All right, now, we have another get to know the new co-host question.
Okay.
When you were first going into school, have you ever cried that you missed your mommy?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, I feel like everyone has that experience where they're like, "Man, I don't want to lose my lunch money today." I mean, everybody got bullied, right?
Oh,
it wasn't just me, right?
No.
It wasn't just me, right?
That would be great if I was like, "Nah, I didn't get bullied. What the fuck's your problem? I didn't get bullied."
No, but yeah, dude, yeah, 100% up until middle school.
There were stories of, me crying because I missed my mother, and she listens to it on her way to work. So if you listen to this, Ma, you're welcome for involving you in this extravaganza. But the elementary school was really, I think it was from like grade 1 to like grade 2. I would cry almost every single day, and my mom's the type of person who, like, she's very protective of her kids. Every mother is protective of her kids, and I remember one time, and she always brings this up, like those times when she's like, "Oh, I gave birth to you. Why do you give me a hard time?" Those times.
She pulls the birth card. Yeah, it's not fair because there's no comeback to that. There's no comeback to that.
There's no, you can't say, "Oh, well, you gave birth to me, but I took a shit 2 hours ago." You can't say nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say, like, you can't give a comeback. But I remember there was a time when one of the PTA officials or whatever was like, "Oh, don't cry," whatever, and she grabbed me to pull me away from my mom. Holy shit! Did my mom almost beat the shit out of that PTA owner?
Mother bird instincts kick in. She's gonna protect her child.
I was crying for my mom, but then at a second point, I was crying because she was probably going to jail.
She was going to kill her. Yeah.
She was going to kill her, but yeah, I have so many, and especially like, do you have any fun bully stories? Like, you wanna, like, not get into
fun bully stories?
No, like, now that we can look.
As in, give me an example of one of your fun bully stories.
Like, it wasn't fun, of course, at the time, Jack.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right.
But like, now looking back, you're like, yeah, I was a bitch. Like, I was a bitch.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think specifically, but like just that general late elementary to early middle school range. Yeah, definitely.
I remember there was like, a whole big, drum with me and this kid Dylan. Shout out to Dylan.
Dylan, dude.
And Dylan he was a dick. Dylan was a dick. Dylan was...
Took your milk money, threw you on the ground.
Dylan was a person who, like, we were friends in the summer, but the popular kids took a hold of him, and then he didn't want to be a part of it.
And then he changed ever since, dude. Ever since he went to the dark side.
Like, he's the type of kids who... You'll see him, like, in school, and you would want to be him. But then, in a few years, you're like, "Oh, he's a dick. Dylan's a dick."
Yeah.
Like, like,
definitely.
You have those friends in life that you just, like, you don't think at the time, like, "Oh yeah, like, he's never gonna turn on me." Then they turn on you. They do a 360.
It's gone, dude. It's a different person.
Totally different person, but. We have 2 more questions, people who want to know what's the new co-host all about. Okay. Now, when you hear the first part of it, you're going to be like, okay, what the fuck, Turbo, but it's going to get clean, don't worry.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'll wait for it. I'll hold my breath.
When you are bathing yourself.
Okay. All right. Turbo wants to hear
do you shampoo first or wash your body first? That's like another cereal milk question.
This one isn't as intense as cereal milk.
Nah, yeah,
I think the first thing I always do
when
I shower is shampoo. I think it's shampoo is the first thing I always use. My hair needs to feel clean. My hair needs to feel clean, It's all greasy, I need to wash it. That's all. What I always do first.
I don't know if there's any true blue loyals out there watching this, listening to this right now, but there is a vlog I did when I went to, every time I go to the lake house and I vlog it, I asked my friend Matt's whole family, "Did you
really? If they shampooed or washed their body
first?" And
you asked, did you ask his mother?
No.
Oh, okay.
That would be too much. That would be too much.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna give you a little surprise, Jack. The shampoo for.
We have a special guest caller.
Unknown name. Holy shit, this is gonna be fun. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the podcast.
And I'm with the Resort Rewards Center, and I'm calling because you stayed with us or at our partner resorts in the past, and you earned.
I don't know. She's on the podcast.
An amazingly, drastically discounted vacation.
Did I win?
So I'm just gonna give you all the details.
Did I win?
Is that okay?
Did I win?
Well,
it's a bot.
you have been selected for a week.
I like how it pretends like it's gonna listen to you.
And you will also get a 3-day, 2-night.
I don't like Disney. I got raped there last year. I don't like
3-day,
Disney.
2-night? Turbo 3-day, 2-night!
Alright, whatever. Alright.
You are on the podcast.
Anyway, yeah, what was her name? What was her name?
I don't
know, whatever. Shout out to you, bitch. Alright, we have, so I'm gonna tell you, Jack, the minority answer was shampoo first.
Really?
Jack,
interesting.
You're doing something wrong here, my friend. You're doing something.
Really? Maybe I should start. Maybe I should start cleaning my body first.
Okay, you ready?
Do shampoo last.
Try cleaning, your hair last. Okay.
Okay.
And then see, it's like biting into a York peppermint patty. The breeze just comes into the house. The top of the house flies off. It's a spiritual experience. Spiritual.
It's spiritual. It's like outer body. Wow.
It's
shampooing last. You heard it here first. Shampooing last is an outer body experience.
You ever try like when you're shampooing your hair? You ever try to you ever had that that shampoo when like it's like, oh, but don't sting your eyes, like it sting. You ever try to keep your eyes open, see if they're
Turbo,
serious?
I am not like self depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm not trying to hurt myself. Do we need to talk, Turbo? We need to talk.
Are we recording or are we live? I had a bad week. I can't take this no more. I shampoo last. All right.
I need you to stop shampooing your eyes on purpose, okay?
I'm not dripping liquid into my uvula.
Just like,
that's in your throat. Yeah, I'm not like, holy shit, here we go. I'm not doing that. I'm just.
That's your spiritual high, is just shampooing your eyeballs.
Like I said, anyway, we're moving on.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. What was your most? What was in your life from whenever you were alive to today, current day, the most awkward public experience?
An awkward public experience?
Like, you ever have those moments when you're like, I am such an asshole. Like, why did I do that? Or was anything like, you have those moments when you think back in your head and you cringe like you did that? Like, no.
There's one from work in particular.
Okay.
If that counts as public. So I used to work in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And this was during the not The Force Awakens, but Rogue One. Rogue One just came out. So like every time it was in like the IMAX theater, it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there, and I was the usher. The ushers like clean the theaters and stuff, and they're kind of like the janitors. I hear over the radio, someone just threw up in like the IMAX theater, like right in the middle of the theater, during the movie.
Oh my god!
And this kid and his mom booked it. Like, they just left the theater. They just booked it. But like someone came up to this like, hey, this kid threw up, and they just both left. They just left it there right in the middle of the theater, and they just left. So my manager looks across the room at me, and I look back at her. I'm like, please, no. Please don't do this to me. She's like, you go clean that up. So I get this stuff called magic dust that you pour over.
Yeah, that's what I used to have in elementary school on the carpets. Oh,
you get that?
God.
I go in during the movie, like literally, like 150 plus people are all looking at me because I don't remember how many it sat, and they all stare at me as I go to the middle of the theater, pour this magic dust, and slowly sweep up vomit, and just everybody looking at me at the same time. Oh man,
raise that day.
Oh man,
They
that was minimum wage too. Yeah.
Whoa, they should have gave you something. But now you work at Domino's now. What do they fire you? They let you go?
What? The movie theater?
Yeah.
No, I left the movie theater.
Oh,
No,
you
no,
were out of
no.
there, huh? You
I
were
would,
like,
dude.
fuck you.
I was the glue holding them together.
Now they're falling apart. You were like
Oh,
you were like, I
100%.
don't know if you follow basketball, but you were like the Kyrie Irving of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now
No,
you
I
see
don't
them
follow
yesterday.
basketball whatsoever.
Oh, you don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Oh, well, we don't talk that much basketball. But anyway, that's it. That's all for the get to know the co-host question. How'd you like it? How'd you like the fan
I like
questions?
that. I like that. Not too
Good?
bad of
Not
questions.
too
I was
bad.
very impressed
All
with the
right.
journalism.
Now we introduced you. Now what are you now? Just getting past. Just kind of like finalize. The get to know the new co-host, which is now people who are just watching, checking in right now for some reason. If you're skipping to 15 minutes and 20 seconds, Jack the Bus is a new co-host along with Nia Dai. Now picture yourself.
Timestamp.
Picture this podcast, and I'm picturing myself too. Picture this podcast. 30 episodes in. What do you
30.
What are your expectations for this podcast? What do you expect to achieve from this? Like,
I'm not looking numbers wise, but more long term. I just want to get more discussion going about just everything happening. I want to hear like everybody's thoughts on what they're thinking on current issues and stuff.
No, without a doubt, yeah. And I just one topic here today that wasn't one that I specifically wrote down, but it's one you just talk about because it's easy to get into. First off, it's kind of, going into this topic, but if you guys don't know, we did the first ever podcast, or truth be told. The first ever podcast was with Electric Shock. Are you familiar with that YouTube channel, Electric Shock?
Yes, very familiar.
And we were talking about, it just happened. It was a big
Oh, he got his
story.
channel back too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He got his fucking channel back, and I'm very excited for him. And I tweeted at him. I was like, let's just say the podcast was a huge influence in that. Let's just say that. Let's just keep
It's
it
the reason you're back, baby.
Yeah, so you better, my PayPal's open. So good to have him back on YouTube. It really, by the way, that was a whole messed up situation. YouTube was like trigger happy with that, term.
Yeah, there was one day where they were banning a lot of people.
Yeah.
At like the same hour, a couple of people were banned.
Yeah, and it's sad just to see people who work hard on YouTube just automatically just get strike down. That's it. Like they don't like. And you see the report. What's her name? Susan something, the CEO of YouTube. She was like, "Oh, we're gonna it's like the yearly report that we want to give to YouTube," and it was like, yeah, we're gonna have our if your video gets demonetized or your channel is not eligible for monetization, there's gonna be more humanized review system. And I go to think back, I'm like, why wasn't this implemented from the beginning?
I know. I don't understand why they're just moving to it. You've got me there.
I don't understand why. And there's people out there right now that are like, and here's the thing, if you're gonna be doing YouTube just for monetization, I don't know.
Look, all I want is like transparency. Like, I don't care if you're telling me, hey, this is all gonna be bots. Like, it took them forever to like speak on the issue about the whole monetization thing and say, hey, this is like run by a bot system now. Like, you're gonna have to let it adapt to how YouTube works. But it took them forever to even mention that.
It took him a while to mention that, and then it took him a while to think back, like, who are we actually affecting? They're affecting not just, the little people who are just, just making a channel just to see if they get big one day. They're affecting channels that already got big, got to put food on the table for their family, and they're just taking all their money. Like, it's... And
they just punished Logan Paul, I believe, today.
Yeah.
They did, but I don't understand why it took them so long, because... Well, it's been like a couple weeks now, 2 weeks now since the whole incident.
Yeah, I think
it just takes some.
Yeah, I think it was a little because of that incident, but then I think it was a little because didn't he tase dead animals?
Oh, the dead animal. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to like.
He's out of control.
I don't want to get because that was my like the Twitter like the current events the topic, but like I just don't understand how dumb you can be. Like, first of all, you're not making most of your income on YouTube. You're making a good percent of income on YouTube, but he's not making that much.
It's like just like acting off like at your job, just just messing around at your job. It's just like
that. Honestly, Jack, that's like you walking up to someone's house, spitting in the pie, and say, "Here you go." Have a nice day. And then,
By the way, I work here.
yeah, right. Like, what's the address? So, like,
Yeah.
there's people who don't understand, like, you know, what he does and how that can affect not just him, but you know, now you understand, like, the PewDiePie thing affected him, but then it affected everyone by the whole demonetization bullshit,
Right.
but the advertisements. That right there was the starting point and turning point of YouTube. That was it. And like I don't understand. Like, you know, there's people who don't understand the dramatic, like, you know, side of what he does. Like Logan Paul, like I hope Logan Paul and Jake Paul like do the fight with the fight with KSI and shit.
Man.
I
Yeah.
hope they get a good crack in the mouth. I hope they lose some brain cells.
I think KSI could definitely take Jake Paul. Logan Paul's a little bigger,
Yeah,
but
Logan Paul,
I don't
yeah.
think I was talking about this yesterday. I don't think Logan Paul would have the ethics to train really hard for a fight like that. But I don't know. We'll see if it turns out to be real.
If you saw like the transformation from KSI before the fight, and
Oh
after the
yeah,
fight,
dude.
oh
Yeah,
my
huge.
God. But you know,
Yeah.
here's the thing too. Like then he paid for like a nutritionist, a dietist, you know, a personal trainer. Like you're paying thousands of dollars just to get fit for that.
Right.
But you know what? It was worth it. He kicked the shit out of
Paid
him.
off.
I wish they would have went a little longer. Like I wanted to see.
Oh yeah, the
someone
ref
go
called it
down.
really early. The ref called it super early.
It's like the same thing
But
with McGregor and
I don't think he wanted to be responsible for Joe Weller not having like a nose or something.
Yeah. And then you saw the comeback that Jake Paul made about, like, you know, why he wouldn't do the fight. Oh, you're wearing a mask. Like if you're not a professional
no, I
boxer,
didn't hear about
yeah,
that,
he was like,
yeah.
yeah, you're wearing a mask. You're a P word. Like, you know, you're not like like. They're so
sounds
corny.
about
They're
right.
so corny. They're so cringy. They're so corny. I can't watch them. I watched that one video because I have to. But just the way he portrays himself on camera, like you're such a douchebag.
Yeah. You can just see the ego radiating off.
Like
Amazing.
why? Like
Amazing.
Oh my
Spectacular.
God, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And you know, we have a point in time in YouTube where you can pinpoint out people on YouTube that you can see that they're like, if they got successful and you can see their personality just trying to be just like, let's just say, for example, Noah J, or like you, like if someone's trying to take on like your type of personality on YouTube, and then you see that, but they're successful and they're trying to do like what, like you would look at them and like, you know, just be yourself. Like you already got the following, try to be yourself.
Right. I mean, he has so many blind fans that follow him.
Yeah.
Even through whatever stupid stuff he does.
Yeah.
I don't. And there's no way he can pretend like that whole super upbeat persona is him. You know. So.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I don't know if you watch the Optic podcast sometimes, but they were talking about it. And I think it was not Hutch. I think it was not Hex. It was someone who went to California and he saw Logan Paul. No, not Logan Paul. Jake Paul. I get them confused all the time. Jake Paul recording and just, you know, vlogging and stuff like that. And he was, you know, he said like when the camera goes on, that's when he jumps up and down. He flexes, you know, he lights up.
Yeah.
And then when it goes down, nothing.
Yeah. Just a regular guy.
Yeah, and I don't know if you ever saw him on like Roman Atwood's vlog sometimes, but and you can see how calm they are. Like when Roman's vlogging and they're not, like they are so calm. They're talking to Noah, they're talking to Brittany, they're talking to everybody.
It's
and they're
weird,
so
dude.
calm.
It's a whole different person.
It's a whole new world when you think about it. Like, was there ever a YouTube like you watch and you're like, I can't watch? Like besides Jake Paul and you like, I can't watch him. Like this is too bad. Like I can't watch him.
Yeah, I could see that with a couple people.
Yeah, like, and it honestly makes you think, like, I do not, if I ever get to this point, kill me.
I
like,
don't want to,
hit me in the face.
I don't want to. I mean, for some people it's different. Like, so take Dr. Disrespect for example.
Yeah.
He puts on this persona, but people love this persona.
Yeah,
that's what
he makes it known that this is a character. You know, like this is
Right.
you know, not me. And,
Right.
and that's why I think a little bit of the whole thing with him and his wife were to the extent I'm very, it made him show
It's
his
very
true
wall
self.
breaking, yeah.
Yeah, it made him show his true self. That's why many people did not, get away from Dr. Disrespect. Because they love him for Dr. Disrespect, not whoever his real name is.
Not Guy Beam, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
weird.
it's very weird, and that's why people who are watching and they're just trying to get into YouTube. Just number one thing, be yourself, please. Just please. Like I'm not even trying to say this to be a corny. Like, oh, be yourself, be consistent. Like I'm not trying to say that. Like, I'm just trying to say to save us all, and to save you from being looked at like, what the hell's this kid doing?
Right.
You don't know how many people. And I'm not gonna say his name. But you don't know how many people. It's no one in mainstream. Who are like all the big YouTubers, whatever. It's a kid who, we were doing the same things, like we were trying to go for an RC, and he made the same voices, same sounds as Lex. You ever see those people that are like, oh, what's going on, baby? Like, whatever. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
My God. I wanted to punch my hand through a wall. It was, like, honestly, why? But please tell me why it has to be Lex. Why Lex?
Yeah. Lex kind of ushered in this whole it's its own style. He ushered in his own style of just personality on YouTube, and now it's a lot of people are kind of trying to get that kind of energy, but it just, some people it comes naturally, some people it doesn't.
It's like, and he was doing like the whole thing like, what's going on YouTube? But I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah, just find your own style and realize like what works for you. Don't try and like force yourself onto someone else's personality, because 9 out of 10 times it's not going to work out.
It's not. And going on with we were talking about in the last podcast, like, going on, and the Twitter video that surprisingly hit a lot of nerve to people when I made the one about, Black Ops 4 clickbait. It hit a nerve because there were people who DM'd me and they were like, bro, like, why couldn't you say this earlier? Like, why? And I was like, and I was gonna say, like, oh, well, you could have watched this podcast, you could have watched that, but then at the same time, like, it's like, and I'm pretty sure you have a lot of, input on, Black Ops 4 clickbait, and we talked about it, and, you have a lot of info on it, and everybody who's in the, the Call of Duty, gaming community on YouTube, they see it. Like, especially Call of Duty, like, you see it. And I remember, I think it was Skizzleax who was talking to me on Twitter about it, and then, I don't think he took it, he said he didn't take it personal, but it kind of showed a little bit, like, he was trying to be a little bit defensive to that, because I don't know if you watch his content, but there can be some titles that can be a little,
Everyone's gonna clickbait from time to time.
Exactly, it could be a little bit, but you can't also, like, take away the fact, like, you're gonna want people to click on your video, like, you're gonna want that fact, that, like, take Roman Atwood, for example. You see it, like, all the time.
All the big YouTubers, yeah, dude.
You're gonna have to, and at least if it's gonna be clickbait, like, and then that's what we were talking about, like, at least it's clickbait. At least do it on something that you want to make the video on. At least do something like don't say like, oh, like Jason Blundell knocked on my door. He we had a thing of, we had coffee together. Like, don't make something like that. Make something like, oh, I'm so excited for Black Ops 4. Like, CEO confirmed or whatever ? Like,
Question mark opinion in interpretation.
Yeah, with a crying, laughing emoji in the thumbnail. But and speaking of the CEO thing with the Activision, did you see the thing yesterday with the Activision?
No.
And yeah.
Oh yeah. The what's it? The investor meeting.
Wait, what was it?
What are we talking about? The call.
The conference calls they did yesterday.
Call? Yeah.
Activision and Blizzard, and they were talking a lot about. Are you from? Do you play a lot of Overwatch? Or did you play Overwatch?
Did I play Overwatch? Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, who do you mean? Who do you mean as?
Oh, I don't play anymore, but I played a lot of Roadhog.
I don't play anymore either, but I used to love it, and my friends used to abuse me because I all the first person shooters I try to stick with is Call of Duty.
Oh, you played Soldier.
And I played Soldier.
Soldier's pretty good.
He is really good. That's why
yeah.
people hated me when I used him, because I used to use him pretty good. But
Soldier
then,
was really good.
yeah, and Overwatch was one of those games where it's the same thing as Fortnite. It took the game community out of it took them by shock. They had no clue like what the hell that was gonna be, and it was very like Fortnite. Like, you out of all people should know a lot about Fortnite. Like, how much money have you spent on V-Bucks? Because you have a lot of shit.
I have only spent around $60.
Are they gonna stay in the full game?
What do you mean?
Like, isn't this only like the early access or whatever?
Yes, yeah, it's early access, but all the stuff you buy will stay
Okay.
whenever it's out of early access.
Like, is it? Like, I don't see. I can see it. Honestly, like, I can see it how it can be.
Oh man,
very
it's
efficient to buy
expensive
shit.
too.
Like,
It's very expensive. Like the smallest skins are about $10.
What?
Yeah, it's very expensive. It's a very deep black hole you can fall into buying Fortnite skins.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh
what?
yeah. Yeah.
That was like
Small skins
that was
about
like me
$10.
with a long time ago, Jack. I was in a.
I mean, there's more. There's like some skins that are 20, 15.
How much is
Oh,
that
yeah.
that plunger that just went into the game?
Oh, I didn't buy the plunger. I believe that's like $8. Yeah.
How much was the shark?
15.
15. Oh my god.
$15, dude.
Okay, Jack.
Hey, but I'm never switching off that shark.
I'm gonna DM you the number to a intervention center, and
But listen,
here you go.
it's not that bad. Hey, I spent a lot of
That's what
money
they
on
all
League,
say. Do you remember Uncle Bob when he said that's what they all say?
and then he had to take a mortgage out on his home for his V-Buck addiction.
Where's Jack, think of
Listen,
yourself when you're
V-Bucks-
45 years old.
V-Bucks bring me happiness, and so do Fortnite skins.
If V-Bucks
like
is the only
Chomp
thing
Jr.
bringing you happiness, Jack.
Listen, it's a small shred of light in my life. I'd like to hold on to that.
Jack, V-Bucks is like me a long time ago. I used to be so addicted when I used to play NBA 2K, whatever. I
think 2K is worse.
I used to buy. Oh, it is worse without a doubt. You have to pay for a style of walking. Like when you're walking around the hub. Like if you want a little lean back, or you want like a little gang slug. Like you're gonna have to pay like 50,000 VC, and it's sickening.
There's no way.
Like I remember when I used to play NBA 2K14, and I used to all the time buy VC. Okay, this is how bad it got. Okay, I remember going to my grandma's house. And she, my grandma always like, anything you want, for school, anything you want, your birthday's coming, whatever. And I was like, Grandma, what's your credit card number, Grandma? And she goes, what do you want? She goes, what do you want? And I'm like, I want
new taunts in NBA.
I want
new
VC.
taunts in 2K.
And she goes, what's VC? And trying to explain that to my grandmother's another story, but
Right.
going on, she thought it was like an STD, but going on with, I was so addicted. I used to try to go for the Golden Jordan, for the Diamond Kobe.
Oh, that's definitely worse. So how much do you think you spent?
Oh my god! Honestly, throughout all the NBAs, over $1,500.
Really?
I could have bought a PC with all the money I spent on NBA.
Then I can say this not as horrifically. I spent around like 500 on League of Legends.
You played
League of Legends was a. Oh no, not anymore. Oh no, not anymore. Oh yeah, dude, I played for about 3 or 4 years. Yeah, definitely. That's a black hole as well.
I tried watching, the new League of Legends season, like with 100 Thieves and stuff like that with Nate Shot. I tried watching it. I don't get it. Like I'm gonna get it soon. Like
the learning curve on League is insane. It's super insane.
Like how long did it take you to learn all the ways of League?
Oh man, you just it takes forever to understand everything, but once you get it, it's a pretty simple game.
Yeah, and I remember watching. What was I watching? I was. Oh, I don't know if you don't watch him because you don't like NBA, but do you know who Cash Nasty is?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
He spent on one live stream
No.
$3,000 on my team packs.
Can't make that back in ad revenue.
You can now. You can. No way. You're gonna have to pull. You're gonna have to pull out a strip club out of your ass in order to make $3,000 in a night.
Start taking loans from the bank.
Yeah. Right. My God. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it's just addiction in gaming. They're trying to make loot boxes illegal in the US and games.
Hawaii and stuff.
How do you feel about that? Trying to make that illegal?
A little on the fence, but I don't think they should be able to control that. It's an individual's personal.
Do you agree that that's like some type of gambling, like sort of?
It is in retrospect a type of gambling, but not to the point where you're betting money against people. It's betting on getting a certain, like Fortnite's system, although it is expensive, you pay money and you buy the skin you want. You don't throw money at a crate and hope you get something. You wait, you go, I want this skin, I want this skin, and you get exactly what you want. You're not throwing in, hundreds trying to open a loot box to get this golden skin,
No, yeah, and the supply drops in Call of Duty is definitely,
right.
like.
And they're gonna keep doing it because it makes them a lot of money.
God, from a business,
like if I were a CEO, if I were business standpoint, if I worked there, I'd be all for it. You know how much this make? It's that report came out. It made them more than DLCs.
That's crazy.
The in games, it made them more than DLCs, and
that is crazy.
So they're gonna keep doing it as long as people buy them, and people will always buy them.
That is disgusting. But I'm giving them the money though. Because
right? Yeah, I know. So am I.
It's like it's crazy because not so much Black Ops 3, very little Infinite. I didn't buy nothing in Infinite Warfare besides the DLC for content. For Advanced Warfare, when they first introduced it, Advanced Warfare was the game that I probably spent more than $1,000 on supply drops.
Really?
That Obsidian Steed.
Infinite Warfare.
No, Advanced Warfare.
Oh, Advanced Warfare.
No, Infinite Warfare. Oh my! I didn't even want to. I wanted to honestly.
I played about one multiplayer game.
I wanted to make a video of when World War II came out, cracking it and just throwing it out the window and just playing World War II. But I didn't want to do that because I actually spent money on the game.
Right? Yeah, I know.
I didn't want to do that. But
we out here.
It's like people who buy supply drops like the way I did Advanced Warfare. Like I remember seeing in one of your videos, did you not play Advanced Warfare at all?
No, never played Advanced Warfare in my life. Not a single game.
Why?
Never. I just so in between. What was before that? Was it Black Ops 2 before that?
Ghost.
In between Ghosts and that and Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
I just didn't play COD. It was mostly just League of Legends and CS:GO.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't play COD, so I just never gave that game a chance. I never played Exo Zombies either.
Let me say, honestly, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, even though it's a jetpack game, I would put it up there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would put
That's
it
what
up
I've heard from all people, actually. And I mean, Black Ops 3, even though it's advanced movement, I thoroughly enjoyed Black Ops 3's multiplayer.
I love Black Ops 3
really
multiplayer. I got, I went for Dark Matter. I got Dark Matter. I went for, the challenge for the specialist. Black Ops 3. But you know what? That's another thing going back to Treyarch. They hit a nerve. Treyarch always hits a nerve when they're making games. And you know what surprised me yesterday with this whole CEO announcement shit? Why are people surprised that Treyarch's making the next game? Why are they so surprised?
When Charlie Intel tweeted, like, breaking, Treyarch confirmed.
Why are they so surprised? Oh my God. We've been through this 1,000 times.
My whole Twitter feed was just messages of, Black Ops 4 confirmed. It's like, no.
We've been through this 1,000 times.
That Treyarch is making it.
Like, when Advanced Warfare was done, we were like, oh, what is Bungie going to make the next game? Like, well, we're not, it was very weird to see that. But then when there's people like, they mentioned the Black Ops series is Black Ops 4, and I made a video on it, like, that's like the intro to that video was talking about Black Ops 4 clickbait. But those two sources of leaks about, the Eurogamer and the guy who made that tweet, those are strong things that will, boost the movement that Black Ops 4 is coming. Like it is going to make that that assumption. Like, would you care if it's Black Ops 4 or not? Would you care? Would you not care if it's called like Call of Duty Women's Movement? Like, would you not care?
See, I don't understand. That's the thing. People are putting a lot of emphasis on it being Black Ops 4, but it's gonna continue the zombie storyline no matter what.
Exactly.
And
Maybe
I know
the guns
no
will
one
change a little bit, but nothing with the storyline.
No one could care less about the campaign continuing,
No.
as although like some reoccurring characters, but just people are putting so much emphasis on Black Ops 4 when I think whatever Treyarch makes, I mean, people are gonna love.
Like,
so.
yeah, exactly. Like, did you play the Black Ops 3 campaign?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I've played
it?
every COD campaign. It was lackluster. It was pretty boring.
It was boring as hell. I played it with my friends with the co-op mode because we wanted to test it out, and it was just it was weird. Like the whole thing, you're playing as Taylor. Like I still don't understand that. I don't understand that to this day.
And the ending, how it's been you. It was weird.
It's so weird, and
I think war games just tend to work better modern day or past. But modern day war games just tend to work better. Future, it can, but they haven't nailed it yet. They haven't hit the nail yet.
Like the Advanced Warfare campaign was okay. Like, I know you didn't play, but I know the Advanced Warfare campaign with Kevin Spacey, and that's what people were saying. Advanced Warfare 2 might happen because the whole entire ending with Kevin Spacey was like a cliffhanger. But it comes to the point where like you're still gonna get the same thing. If Mamba does remaster or not, that doesn't mean if it's gonna be Black Ops 4 or not. Like it's not gonna change nothing. Like
zombies, they know zombies is continuing. Exactly. Why would they just drop that storyline? And to be honest with you,
if it's current day, I can't wait for current day weapons to be in zombies. I can't wait for the AK-47 to be back. Maybe I can't wait for the weapon like Black Ops 2. Those were really it was like. It was like modern day, but a little bit like what was like Black Ops 2? Was it 2025? That's honest.
I think so.
If you're looking at it right now, we're in 2018. I mean, it's still like what 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, like 7 years. We're going to 2025. Like it's not really that far.
Right.
Like so, like those weapons kind of are like current day s, but it's a video game. They made it more futuristic than it would be. But I can't wait for like weapons that would just make make us return in Black Ops 4. I can't wait to see like if
I really hope they keep sliding. I think sliding just made zombies feel good. It made it feel so smooth getting around, and for speed running, it was nice because I mean you could get like certain slide patterns going,
G-slide.
But yeah, just dude, sliding. I couldn't care less. I know everybody has like this big like boner for PhD flopper.
Oh my god, that's not even. That's the.
I would rather have sliding and no
PhD.
I really couldn't care less.
I
really couldn't care less.
Honestly.
But everybody has this blind love for PhD, but I would way rather have sliding than have diving and PhD back.
And if you think about it, how often did you use the sliding?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I mean the diving.
People only used it for the what did it do? It got rid of explosive damage, But now there's a gobble gum for that,
Yeah, and what also did it do? It did something like, what you call it? It did something with the what did it do? Like, remember on Black Ops 2 Origins when you used to dive, it would give the Origin staff effect on the weapon.
Oh really? Oh yes, yeah.
It was
whatever staff you had upgraded.
Okay,
yeah.
Speaking of glitch, do you remember the old Glitching Queen videos? If you ever watched her during Black Ops 2.
No, not back during Black Ops 2.
She wasn't talking like this. She was actually talking like
this. Really? No way.
Oh, when she did
I gotta go back and watch this.
When she did the Mob of the Dead How to Be like in the Afterlife mode permanently video, she was like, "Hey guys, and today it's a Mob." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "This is not her." Like that is.
No, I'm looking it up now.
Oh, you better. It's something. It's crazy. But as Jack looks that up, people who just watched the podcast before, we had a lot of comments on the the SoundCloud. So I want to give the little SoundCloud fans a little shout out. SoundCloud, people were asking if the guests we have on the show are all going to be gaming related. And me and Yadai and, Jack being a part of this now and being a part of the discussions after this podcast, we're definitely, I think, we're on the same point. We wouldn't like to keep it a little bit on, the gaming, community. Like, I think, there'd be people who are like when I did with Vicky Botetto, there was, he's on the gaming community. He was a comic. So, there is, there are people who, if they have a nice story and, like they're really, in mainstream media, if they're really popping and, like, they're really, the story's good, we'll definitely love to have them on the show. But definitely if you guys, would want to be a part of, the discussion of who you want on the show, please follow me on Twitter at aturbo24. Everything's going to be on screen right now and on the description.
Plug.
Did you find it?
No, I couldn't find the Afterlife tutorial. I'll look at it.
Oh, it's gonna be great. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, what? Like, no way.
Yeah, she's known for her ASMR.
Yeah, but if you want to see what we talk about glitch screen, go on the podcast we with Jack the Bus, last week. Look at that. But but if you want to be a part of the guys on SoundCloud, if you want to be a part of the discussion on who you want to have a guest on the show, tell us on Twitter. Jack the Bus's Twitter is at RealJackTheBus. Mine's at aturbo24. And Near Dies at Near Dies. So if you guys want to do that, everybody check out our Twitter if you want to tell you who we want to be on the podcast. Because I would really, I would really love to have, many people on this. Like, I think we have, I talked to Greg FPS. He would love to be on the show. So 1 week we're going to have Greg on. 1 week, we're definitely going to have, the other people on the show that I think, you said, Jack, we're going to have great conversation and,
get to know people a little better.
Yeah, get to know people better. And this podcast, I want to be, and I don't know if we explained why the name, it is what it is, but it is what it is, how many times a day do you say, it is what it is? Not really often,
Right.
Like, you don't really say, it is what it is, but the whole word, the sentence, it is what it is. This whole podcast is
very globally a universal truth.
Exactly, and there's some topics on this podcast that, knowing me and my, personality, my outlook on the community, not even just gaming, I'm very open with it. And there's a lot of people out there now that have their wall up, like they're very closed to outlook, opinions. And anytime I get into my little rants like I do on Twitter, anytime I get in my little rants like I do again, sometimes in the beginning of my YouTube videos, it's not personal to the person or the whole group. It's not personal. People today don't understand criticism. Like if I told Jack right now he's an asshole, like he'll be upset. I'm sure he'll be upset.
I'll just go cry after podcast.
If I said that, he, if we're like, for example, like if I told my cousin, you're an asshole, he knows me, he knows my personality, he wouldn't get mad. But if I told someone like, who like Jack, who we just started talking, I say you're an asshole, he wouldn't know. Like, okay, is he actually serious? Like, what's
alright, this guy's a punk, alright?
He's an asshole. He's an asshole, not me. He's an asshole. But. Like there's people who don't understand opinions. So it is what it is topics that, people who really don't have the balls to talk about in depth in the community as much as, we do. And we're going to talk about it, but it's not going to be, don't expect us, go deep and like, digging into the person or, going
calling people out.
Exactly. And if people are going to get fucking called out, it's because they were already called out in public, like, on Twitter or whatever. And, for example, when we talk about Glitching Queen, that whole thing with her and B-Bad, we talked about it because it was a big thing that people already know about. So that's why. And I was watching an old podcast of someone on YouTube, and they were talking about the whole thing when the whole fiasco with what was it? It was like, data mining with, I think it was like Black Ops 3 Easter eggs sometimes, during, the end of it. And, people were talking about that. And then you have to think to yourself also, like, when they're talking about it, they have a right to, because no one is above criticism. Like, no one's protected by criticism. Like, that's what I'm definitely going to point out on the podcast. But I'm definitely, when Jack, when Jack said, he wanted to be a permanent co-host, honestly, Jack, I'm excited to even keep having you on this show. Like, I'm so excited.
Dude, yeah. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm gonna be, it's so excited to record podcasts just in general, because before this, I've done the Artificial Gaming podcast, just mainly for the channel. Then I did, when Nia said, we have an idea for a podcast, I was like, and then truth be told, then, we had to change the name, but either way, we're staying with the same, concept. I love, like, what podcast do you listen to a lot?
I've listened to Tell 'em Steve Dave. That's I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's with I mostly found it from Q from Impractical Jokers.
Oh yeah, he does those like comic podcasts, right?
Yeah. So I've mostly just listened to them. But I'm trying to listen to more podcasts to see kind of how they run things.
Yeah, do you watch a lot of Impractical Jokers?
Oh yeah, I've seen pretty much like every episode.
All right, little fun fact: my friend Matt, his aunt, when she was younger, went on a date with Joe.
Really?
And they got pretty frisky.
No way.
Yeah,
way.
You know what's funny? Being from New York, I have a lot of fun stories. Like, be like the guy, like the meme, like, "Are you crazy out of your mind?" Him being a dean in my school.
Yeah, that's crazy that he's actually dean in your school.
After that podcast, I went up to him and I was like, "Oh, I gave you a little shout." He goes, "You didn't give away my secret, right?" I was like, "What the hell was your secret?" He goes, "That it's fake." I'm like, "Everybody knows that. Like, nobody knows that real. Come on, like everybody knows it's fake. But come on, like honestly, oh, that's fun. We love busting his balls in school. We love it.
Oh man, I'm sure he loves his life, knowing that he's a meme on the internet.
For his daughters, to be honest. Like,
oh man, yeah.
But
constant, yeah.
Yeah, and the practical joke is my cousin went to Faro High School in Staten Island, and they went to that school. Yeah, remember the episode when they were doing a lie detector test in the school?
Yeah.
That's the school my cousin went to, and they're always in Times Square. They're always in Manhattan. I'm always there too.
So cool.
Sometimes I see them. And it's very weird. They're very. When you watch Practical Jokers, they're very down to earth people. They're not very Hollywood like. They're very.
Yeah, they're just four best friends.
Exactly. So when you're in public, not a lot of people actually go to take pictures of them. Like, they say hi to them, but they don't say, "Oh, can we take a picture?" They say hi to them. And that's
they don't get swarmed or anything.
Yeah, and I met my friend's brother who goes to college in the city. Saw them actually doing an episode at the college that they went to. And,
that's so cool.
Yeah, and he wanted to be in an episode so bad, so he didn't go up to them and make them
he would just like mill around waiting for.
He was sitting down with his laptop, and he was like, "Please,
so amazing.
Please get naked in front of me. Do something, like please,
please come up to me and ask like where my child is."
Yeah, exactly. Like please put your nose on my shoulder. Do something. Everybody who doesn't know Impractical Jokers, please watch. It's on True TV. It's my father.
That's the thing too. I hope they don't get too popular, because the thing is, the whole show is based around people not knowing who they are.
Yeah.
So the more popular the show gets, like the less effective it's gonna be. Like them, pulling pranks on people.
Exactly. That's kind of like the problem with Roman Albert and his prank channel. You can't really do pranks that much anymore
because everyone's just ready for it now.
Yeah. It's a thing on Dylan Sprouse, the kid who does like the Tweet Live Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
He has a channel on Instagram, page on Instagram. Particularly, the channel, the page.
No.
Talking about? Well, he has a page on Instagram where he takes pictures of other people trying to secretly take pictures of him.
Really? That's actually really funny.
He takes pictures of like people putting their phone behind their back, trying to make it like putting their phone between their legs, trying to get a little like off shot.
He has a whole page dedicated to it.
Whole page dedicated to that, and it's crazy. It's great. Like, those are the type of things you would never expect to happen.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
because they're just so used to it at that point. It gives you a look at like how often it happens.
The day's gonna come, Jack, that you're gonna be going up to someone's house with the pizza, and they're gonna be like, Jack,
the bus?
Are you the bus? What? Are you bus, Jack?
Are you that one guy that live streams on the internet? Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Do you play with yourself on camera Fortnite? I'm like, yeah.
I hope I'm like well out of the pizza game. If I'm that, if I'm that famous.
You're not gonna be. You're gonna be a manager.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
You wanna be a
I'm
manager?
like recording. I'm vlogging, dude. What are you talking about? Like, that's my second channel.
Exactly, and you know, what I do sometimes, like my uncle works at a school, so sometimes I go, you know, I do like some janitor work for the school, like, you know, put the chairs on the table, you know, clean up the school, whatever. And I remember so many times I'm like, what if, you know, like the kids who are in PM school, what if I'm just like, you know, I'm cleaning this hallway, and what if some kid walks out of the door and say like, Turbo? Turbo?
I'll watch your podcast.
Turbo, is that you? Like, oh yeah.
That's the dream, baby. That's the dream.
You know, I remember, and I'm not even trying to be like conceited right now. I remember a long time.
I remember this one time I was recognized.
I remember when I was in a restaurant, and
someone asked for my autograph,
and I got a free shot of a Bacardi Black. I remember when I was like 6 years old, and I remember saying to myself, like, whatever I do in life, I don't want to be just like an ordinary person. I don't want to be another worker.
You don't want a desk job.
Yeah, exactly.
Filling out Excel sheets.
And you know, you could have probably, you know, like you said you're going to major for what? Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity. Yeah. How's that, by the way? How does that all, you know?
You know, it's interesting. 2 days ago, my coworker, he had to leave class. Not my classmate. He was leaving class early to go to an interview, actually. And his entire interview, he had to take in his laptop, and they were going to sit him in front of the system computer, and he had like 60 minutes to break through their firewall. And if he could break through their firewall, he got the job. It's just so, like, yeah, it's so, I don't know, it's like a whole different world. It's so weird.
Wow. If you can take all the porn off this computer, you got yourself a job.
He's like, I quit. Nope, can't do it. Downloads like malware bytes.
Solo girl, what? Oh god.
It's like, oh my, this computer is just horrible.
Who runs this?
It's a whole different world, dude. It's interesting. Opens your eyes about how vulnerable you are to
without a doubt,
to people on the internet. How vulnerable
my
you are.
mother just walked in the room yesterday, and I have an Alexa, like an Echo Dot. I have an Alexa, and she was like, oh, Matt, I'm like, what? She goes, you have to take that off right now. I'm like, what? She goes,
it's listening to us.
Because my mother is slowly but surely getting into that phase of she enjoys watching the news.
Real. The news?
Who's my mom?
Oh no, my parents have been gone forever. They watch the news every morning. Oh yeah.
And it gets me so mad sometimes, because there'll be times I'll be eating dinner at the table, and then, like, you know, the TV will be on, and I'll be hearing like, murder in Brooklyn. I'm like, Ma, I don't want to eat this.
I mean,
like, I don't want to eat this.
Yeah, I know. The news is like it's really depressing, actually.
Honestly.
I mean, like, it's just like death. It's a car crash. It's like, oh, here's this kitten that is missing.
Exactly. Like
it's where does it end with you people?
Yeah, and it's actually fun to bring this up to you in particular, because of cyber security. You have my mom's like, just to let you know, and I don't want to get you nervous, but they can see what you're doing. I'm like, Ma, if you fucking webcam, they can go into Ma. I'm like, Ma, I can.
I'm sure they're very impressed seeing me at 3 a.m. sitting in front of my computer with like Cheetos just rolling down my stomach.
When I come out of the shower and I'm naked in my room, they can see my balls. Like, I'm not surprised about that. I'm not. What am I gonna make? Oh, the CEO, FBI.
They can take a good old look.
Like, if the FBI's watching me, good for them. They're watching me. So what? They're getting a show. What am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna stop my life because I got a webcam on. Like, I'm not.
you have to sneak around your room. You're like trying to avoid the camera. Army crawl
to get a pair of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, she was like, the Echo Dot, they can listen to you. I'm like, alright, go fuck yourself, like FBI. What do you want me to say? Like, I'm living my life. Like, my uncle made a funny joke. It was like Labor Day, and we were at a house in Jersey, and my cousin was talking about how the Kinect can, they can see what you're doing if they activate it, and they can, they can see your heartbeat, the bloodstream in your body. And then my uncle goes, I would jerk off 24/7 in front of that thing. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's so weird.
Traumatize some Microsoft support employee.
I'm like, that's so weird. He goes, listen, if they're gonna invade my privacy in my house,
I'll invade their mind.
Exactly. He goes, I'm giving them an image to print in their brain.
I will poison them.
I'm like, oh my god.
That is hardcore.
Do you
dude.
learn about that stuff, like how they can access like your shit?
Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing that you made yourself like, holy shit, like what?
Well, I mean, the first semester we watched what was it? Snowden in class, the documentary on Edward Snowden, and it was like apparently super accurate, and there was just a system used by the FBI, and it was real. Like they can, like the NSA, they could see everything, like anyone. It's a giant database of every email, every text, everything. It's just it's really it's mind blowing just to see how vulnerable everyone is. But I mean, like you said, I'm not like specifically worried about the FBI checking my phone and seeing it's dry,
Yeah, I remember we were in school and we had an assembly about a girl who was trying to see, cyberbullying, and it was like, you think your Snapchats go away? Well, they don't. And
they don't.
The amount of a gasp that at that time, like, oh my god, they saw my nudes, what the fuck? And you could just see how everybody started to sweat. And I'm like,
everybody's like deleting stuff.
Honestly, I'm like, how many pictures do you have of your cock on your phone? Like,
people need to calm down.
Like, what? I'm like, well, first of all, why would you just do that on your off time? And second of all, why would you be so dumb to say like, oh no, they're safe, don't worry? Like, no, you don't understand how deep this goes.
Right.
It's just
it's deleted after
no,
8 seconds.
Don't worry,
there's a timer.
Don't worry, we made a promise we wouldn't screenshot them. Don't worry.
He pinky promised.
Yeah, he pinky promised me. But yeah, I mean, Jack, we this podcast. What do you want to say to the people?
This went off the rails.
It went off the rails, but you know what? I like it because it's just you and me. We're just talking. They got to know you on a podcast standpoint. They got to know you. They got to know you personally on another, on the last podcast. Now they know what you're going to be all about being a co-host. What do you want to say to the people watching and listening on SoundCloud and YouTube?
I hope I can be the best Jick that I can be for you, and I'm going to try my best to bring up discussions you guys want to talk about, and just give my honest opinion about it.
Without a doubt. And guys, if you want to check out Jack's YouTube channel, link's going to be in the description. Jack, what do you got planned for your channel?
Got some stuff in the works via competitive Fortnite. But that is still TBD.
Okay, now I wanted to end this off this podcast with this comment and this comment only. Okay. I'm going to give a good, big shout out to Booglin2409 because he predicted that you would be the co-host.
Really?
So he was the only one. Now,
is he in my webcam?
Is he in the FBI? Is he no?
Is he here?
Is he in my Alexa? And he wanted to ask you. Okay, now, we asked you this before on the other podcast. Jack, don't be a prick. Give us more intel. You gotta give us a little more intel. He wants to know, how far are you in
on the Smith Plays diss track?
Podcast, this track.
The Smith Plays diss track. So, that's a tad on hold. I'm not saying it's over. Over.
No, I can already see where it's going, Jack. I can already see.
No. It's not going in the dumpster. Okay. I promise.
Okay.
Tad on hold until next month.
Ooh, next month. There you go.
Next month.
Well, they
100%
they say
next month.
Perfection takes time. You can't.
Perfection does
you can't
in fact
rush
take
perfection.
time.
Jack, I'm so excited to have you on, my man.
I am excited to be here as well.
Guys, we had a lot of things to talk about, including, Black Ops 4, the updates, Darkest Shore, all that shit. It's not as interesting as the stuff we talked about today,
Darkest Shore. Feels
I
bad,
know
man.
you're. I know.
Rest in peace.
But by the way, Jack, Easter egg, Jack, Easter egg. Yeah, no.
Oh
Easter egg,
man,
no,
are we?
no,
Do
no,
we?
no.
Do we? Are you gonna make me do these?
No,
God,
no.
okay.
I tried doing it with my friend.
Being
Vin.
forced into
It was
this.
it was.
No, no. Let's do this. All right. I'll get the belt.
I'll get the.
Let's do this.
Alright, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Jack's gonna be here for his entire life. I'm not making him go nowhere.
Deathbed podcast.
Deathbed podcast. Oh my god. Guys, thank you so much for watching. All the support you gave on the Vicky Potato podcast was so great. Guys, if you don't know, I actually got to meet him after that. I got to meet him after that podcast. I emailed his manager, and his manager said he was going to be in Staten Island. I was like, wow, I'll definitely drive up there. So I went there. And I met him. It's literally meeting
That's
your
super
idol,
cool.
and it was great. And guys, it wouldn't be possible if you guys didn't want this podcast as much as you actually did. So I'm gonna sign off, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Jack is here to stay with Near Die. Once again, congratulations to Near Die being an uncle. He is going to name it Turbo, and I don't care what the fuck the daughter says. Yeah, Jack, you wanna sign us out?
And this is Jack and Turbo signing off until next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We kind of made that outro like the